to U.S. Fleet Tracking's Drill Down Show, part of our GPS Tracking Academy Friday. We're glad you're with us. Hope you made the first show, GPS Tracking Academy. We are ready to show you another in-depth look at a particular feature, and this actually is basics of GPS tracking, how best maybe to implement your hardware, and some little tips that our resident expert, Rich Davis, will lend to you that may, without any changes or very modest changes, get more value for you out of the system. First of all, the pregame show, we tell you a few things about U.S. Fleet Tracking in general. Remember, tech support. We're very proud of our tech support team. You see the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time, Mondays through Fridays, and on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that phone number, 405-726-9900. You get live representation 6 days a week. Remember, you can find out a lot about what's going on inside the company, what is coming, give your opinion of what you like, maybe what you'd like to see tweaked by liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter. Very active U.S. Fleet Tracking is in social media. If you'd like to see some archived shows or some instructional videos, go to our site, youtube.com/US Fleet Tracking, for what we have in the way of a library of archived videos to watch in the comfort and on the time frame you desire. And of course, we've got all of this coming to you all the time by seeing our website, seeing the social media. You can see what's going on. We like interaction, and to that point, this show is very interactive, and you should be seeing chat easily enough accessible right now. If not, and you were on the first show, please refresh your browser and I'll bet you're up and running. You can chat in anything to us about what we're talking about or what else. Tomorrow's basketball game, whatever you choose. We're here for you to do the best we can. And Megan will carry on the conversation with Chad and get us those questions immediately. So without further ado, again today, GPS tracker management. It's about how best to get the most value out of your, we're talking more hardware today, and to that point, maybe it's about best placement for antenna or secrets for value add to installation, some extra features you may not know you're aware of. Rich?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and I've talked to thousands of customers, and you just get a lot of tips and tricks that you can kind of do to help manage your devices. You know, some things maybe you didn't think of when maybe installing or when charging some battery operated devices, just anything about any of our products that can really help you track, get better information, you might say.
And to that point, we had a question about how better to know you're safe with battery life out in the field, and you were telling me there's an easy key there, and that leads to a big announcement we've recently made, in that you can now purchase devices and accessories online, usfleettracking.com. But to that point, maybe you just have an extra battery or two out there, and you've also got the alerts as to battery power.
Exactly.
Yeah. Would you elaborate a little bit?
One of the things, you know, from our previous show, we have those power alerts. So if you set up a power alert for your battery operated devices, one big thing is when you have them out in the field, you want to make sure you're getting the most out of your tracking. You know, one of the worst things that can happen is it works great all the time, but that one time you need it is the one time that battery goes down, or you just forgot to recharge it and it goes down at that moment you needed it.
Right.
So one thing we always recommend is always recommend to get another battery if you can, because that power alert that will notify you, let's say when it gets down to 20% or less, then to go and get the battery and then maybe swap out another battery.
Right.
A lot of customers will just stay with the one battery. Well, you have to charge that, you know, kind of like a cell phone. Well, if you're charging it, you're not tracking. So one thing we always recommend where you can order another device or get another battery, and now you can just constantly go grab that battery to recharge and then take the other battery and put it in there.
And you're never down.
Yep.
And again, you can get all our products now, virtually all our products online.
Yep, you can just go on our website. I mean, once this went live, that was one of our top things. I mean, within the first 24, 48 hours, I think we already had about 10, 15 orders of just batteries and so forth and things that customers would want.
Right. And it's another way where, again, in the privacy of your own home or when it's more convenient for you than in the throes of the business day, you can take a look, make sure, you can look at our entire lineup of trackers offered of devices and make sure if you've got the right device for you, for your business, and always call tech support during our open hours we talked about, or chat in, or support@usft.com is an email. But if you want to have a conversation about, do I have the right tracker? Our tech support is very comprehensive, and they will help you in any aspect where it has to do with our company. So this is an extra real feather in our cap that we're very proud of, now offering online purchasing of our devices, our accessories. So how about another example of GPS tracker management? What's so important? You're pretty much shut down if you are having trouble with antenna coverage.
Yes, so a lot of your hard wires or even the battery operated, one of the most important things is when you're on the website and you click on the device to get the device data, you're going to see that GPS satellites like we mentioned.
Right.
GPS satellites is very similar, and I always recommend it or compare it to the bars on a cell phone. When you start thinking of it, how good of coverage are you getting? How accurate? How well will it work? The way that always comes down to is placement. Whether it comes down to a hard wire with internal antennas, then that could be where the device is placed, or someone with external antennas of where that antenna is located. Now, a lot of hard wires, most recommended locations are going to be underneath the dash, near the steering column.
And of course, you don't want any solid structure invading the view. So it's not all about the antenna. The placement's key, of course.
Exactly. Metal it acts like a mirror when it comes to GPS. So when the GPS signal tries to go through the vehicle, if there's any piece of metal, exactly, it bounces off and reflects the signal, therefore can't give you an accurate location or accurate information on where that device is, also the vehicle.
And Rich likes to remind you that satellite number, you want it to be at least 4 showing. It can be up to 13, but you certainly want 4 active satellites that are in connection with it to feel confident you've got a good reading.
Now, the one big tip on that as well is you want to try to get an average about 7 or more.
Okay.
Because, see, as the Earth rotates, you know, where the satellites are in the Earth's atmosphere, it's going to change. Like, your satellites will vary. It might go like 5 satellites, maybe the next hour down to 4, the next hour back up to 8, just because of the rotation. So we always say you want to get an average of about 7 or more. I mean, the more the better, because you don't want maybe in that afternoon you lose 1 or 2 satellites. And if you're at 4, well, now you go down below the threshold, and now you won't get any
That's
signal.
when you might start wondering.
Yep, exactly. And the biggest thing is, if you ever have any questions about that, a reminder, always reach us. You can always give us a call, open up that chat, that live chat, and ask us, hey, am I picking up enough satellites? Is there any recommendation? We're always here to help with any of those questions.
Yes, so GPS tracker management, this speaks to a lot of things. You've got the website pulled up. So if we take a look here, you are right where the ordering would begin for our online ordering. And we take a look at, for instance, the AT. All right.
So the AT is more of like your internal antenna. So this one right here is going to be about location, where it should be placed. Your normal locations with these are going to be underneath the dash, and again, near that steering column. And you normally want about this side or maybe one of the sides to be facing up or towards the north. Right. Now, if you start picking up some low satellites, you might just need to move it maybe a couple inches, maybe max of like a foot or so. And that right there will help you pick up more satellites.
Yes, like an automatic garage door, sometimes the slight tweak to get the infrared eye clear, it doesn't have to be a complete uninstall and change of strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you click on it, they'll see bigger what that device looks like. Many of you have that AT.
Some different images right here. Now, the other thing is these are water resistant. So a lot of customers will put these like maybe out on trailers and so forth. Now, we normally recommend the AT Pro for more of your like your trailers, more of your equipment, you might say, because they're a little thicker and they can handle a lot more weather conditions.
They're more rugged.
Yep,
yes,
exactly.
Yes.
They also have a lot more wires as to be able to add those extra features if you want multiple.
Such as horn honk and lock unlock doors.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, and if you want those things and you've got the right device, it's just a bit of extra wiring installed and you're in business. Again, your subscription fee doesn't move off of you're charged one subscription fee.
That's correct.
Lost my sentence ending capabilities there. So again, now you're seeing that if we were to, another popular device, you're much more invested being a sales associate in what we offer. The NT,
So the NT
what do you
V3,
get the most inquiries in terms of installation? By the way, Jeremy's got an installation video on our the youtube.com/US Fleet Tracking, but again, please elaborate on the NT. Sorry to interrupt.
So the NT V3 is my personal favorite when it comes to hard wires, because what these little connectors right here is for that external antenna.
Okay.
This is really nice because you're going to get a lot more like distance on where you want to move that antenna. You might install it underneath the dashboard near the steering column, but let's say you want that antenna underneath the dash more towards the passenger seat, or you're having a lot of interference. This is where that NT-V3 comes into play there. The other function that can work is, let's say you have the NT-V3 underneath your dash, and you don't mind your drivers knowing about it, because you can take that antenna and put it right there on the windshield, where you get great coverage when it comes down to it. But the other thing about the NT is you get all of your functionality out of it. You're going to get multiple input and output wires for like that honk horn, disable, enable ignition, and so forth.
Yes, indeed. Again, in knowing what is best for you, because we do have a nice array of offerings. Can call tech support, call and inquire with your sales associate. As they always do, they'll ask you what your uses are going to be, but don't be afraid to elaborate more, because we're here to lend as much value to you with the system. It turns into another employee for you, we like to say, and lends not only to the bottom line, but to peace of mind. Another, how about a closing point? Maybe show the OBD?
Yep, one of my personal favorites is the OBD V3. I call this the golden egg, because it's one that you can just plug right into an OBD port in your vehicle, and it's just plug and start tracking.
So no installation questions.
Exactly. But here's the other thing, and this is a little feature a lot of people don't think about. The big question about OBD is, well, what happens if my driver just wants to grab it, or they grab it and they just unplug it? Now I can't see where they're going. Well, one function is we offer what's called a Y cable. So if you hook up the Y cable, which actually, if I go back down here.
And this is for the OBD?
That is correct.
Okay.
Let's see, do we have it? You might actually have to request it. But what the Y cable does is it plugs into the OBD port, and then it goes into the OBD, but it uses tie downs. So if you're ever worried, they would have to cut through that tie down to be able to disconnect it. And that can be really nice, because now you know if someone is trying to disconnect it, or they try to and they can't.
You're going to have evidence of that.
Exactly. And now you don't have to go and pay for an installer to go install your device. Now you just have to use that Y cable.
Very good. Okay, so the Y cable is another addition, and if that is not on our website, you can go request that, and it'll come to you in short order. All right. I think that about does it. Thank you all for tuning in. And again, we can't always know what your questions are in terms of placement, installation, GPS tracker management, as today's drill down show is about. So tech support available for you, 7 p.m. closing time, Mondays through Fridays, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Those are central times, 405-726-9900.
It's a Friday.
Wow. We've got our videos archived on youtube.com/US Fleet Tracking. And like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. A super way to both lend input on what you like that's happening. If there's something you'd like to see added, it's a great way to. Or call tech support, call your sales associate. We are here every 2 weeks with GPS Tracking Academy and the Drill Down Show. And it is Friday, is it not? I am thrilled you're with us. For Rich Davis, for Sam, for Brian, and for Megan handling all the chat and the production. We thank you for being loyal U.S. Fleet Tracking customers, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.